Lurker. Hey, Kyle. Found somebody that wanted your baits. He goes by the name Nasty Nate. Wrote me in a panic today. He said, I didn't miss what I think I missed, did I? I said, yeah. But your old buddy Kyle is there to help you out. Oh, Kyle, since you're a truck guy, I so I ordered my fuel pump from my old truck, right? Well, I just ordered the fuel pump and not the tank because I was going to give my tank another look to see if I was going to clean it out, right? So I looked at it and it's real nasty. So I was like, "Oh, I'll just buy the tank to go with it with my pump rather than send the pump. I'll just buy a tank." Would you believe that the pump and the tank separate are $40 cheaper? I got the straps, Jeremy. Got the straps. But it's $40 cheaper separately than when you get it put together. How about that? How about that? So I was shocked. I was shocked, and actually, kind of, kind of happy that I did it that way. Now I get to save a couple crumbs. Now I get to save a couple crumbs. Uh, what's up, AJ? $60 on airbrush parts. You could have just bought a Neo for that, or a Master. You could have bought two Masters. We find who buys airbrush parts, bro? Throw them in the trash and get a new one. All right, where is my goo? Oh, I left it open. Way to go, me. $13 shipping. 3 Harbor Freight Deluxe. There you go. Jeremy, I cannot tell you how much joy Rock Auto brings me. I'd like to have them as a sponsor to this, my huge YouTube presence, because I love them so much. Like, I don't know, dude. I just get the most joy out of, like, I don't know. Like, I was looking at my wheel bearings. My wheel bearings locally were like 180, $200 a piece. Rock Auto, $80. um, the plunger on my Patriot is completely worn out. I get 0 air coming out. That's not good. 3 sets of wipers for $10. Yeah, that would buy you like one blade if you could even find it. Maybe, maybe. Um, it would probably be easier for Kyle, for him to just pay you, and then I'll just send them directly to him. Uh, Pads and rotors and a set for the front of my truck with 75. I know, Jeremy. I don't know, like just shopping on there. I just enjoy looking up parts just because I know because there's a lot of shit that you don't necessarily that you put off because you're like, if I have to go buy that, it's going to be way too much, and then beautiful Rock Auto shows up, and you're like, oh, let me see how much that is on their site, and then you look it up, and it's like, oh, I'll get that. I'll change that out. What's up, Darius? Any smallmouth ripping going on this week? Got a few nibs. Trying to clean up, make these things look extra fancy. As good as I can, anyway. Hello, Bob. Hello, Bob. I don't know what that is. Just cutting out the middleman. Same parts you get at a parts house. Only thing it does it no matter what you got to pay shipping. Yeah, I will say the good thing about their shipping is I ordered a bunch of shit last week. I ordered oil filters, fuel filter, plugs, wires, uh, fuel pump, wheel bearings, all kinds of stuff. Big order, and I guess it was coming from different places. But I paid like not much shipping. Like the shipping cost wasn't that much. It was like 30-40 bucks. But they sent 5 different packages for the same price. So it ended up being like $10 or less than $10 a package, which I was okay. Uh, Too hot night fishing. Try that spinnerbait head, Darius, and let me know if it's worth a shit. Don't forget it. You know the truck deal with ABC and then don't you? No, I don't. What is that? You talking about like the truck deal with ABC and them? What is that? I don't know if I'm reading that right or if I'm just not savvy as to what that means. Hello, JP. Hello, JP. Yesterday was not a good clear coat day. Speaking of parts, AJ, you'll get a good kick out of this. So my little, I was trying to clean my airbrush, and before I cleared, and I only clear coat out of this airbrush, and I was going to pull the nozzle, and it was stuck. It gets jammed in the hole. So, what's the safest way to do that, right? Pair of pliers. So I get the pliers out and I start pulling, and it doesn't work. And I'm like, all right, how hard should I push this, right? Um, so I said, you know what? Rather than like mar up my nozzle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it in a rag and see if I can get a better bite and and pull it off that way. So the error of my ways was I put the pliers on the nozzle around a rag, and when I went to pull it, it slipped off, and when it did, my pliers were gradually closing from my grip being tight trying to pull, and it slipped down the nozzle. And when I got to the end of the nozzle, guess what? I crimped it shut. Oh, like clear coat is sitting in the cup, ready to go. And then I had to do emergency nozzle repair. Was not happy about it, but I got it straightened out. And I mean, I didn't really get it. I didn't really get it straightened out. I just jammed the needle back in it and like opened it up even more than it's probably supposed to be. So I turned a 0.7 millimeter or whatever, zero point 0.7 inch, 0.07 millimeter nozzle into like a pin. Uh, for that extra fine detail clear work. And I can tell you for for clear coat on baits, it's such a small surface area. You could probably clear coat with a toothbrush and you'd be okay for like a crankbait. In my humble opinion. Well, I keep notifications. Um, in my experience, uh, for crankbait painting, your clear gun doesn't have to be incredible. You just need to be able to spit some shit out. But Jeremy, you'll probably find this interesting. This could be my $1 million idea. So, I, like thousands and thousands and thousands of other people, this is not fishing related, but this is life related, tool related. So, I, like thousands and thousands and thousands of other people, own and use the Pittsburgh Harbor Freight uh, tool. I don't know if it's the mechanic set. It's got all the sockets, a few wrenches, like a pair of pliers, some cutters, but it's got a 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 1/2 inch drive sockets. It's got some Allen keys. It's the big one. It's like 180 pieces or something. I forget how big it is. Um, but the last time I worked on my truck, I don't remember what I was working on. Oh, I was working on my knock sensor. So anyway, I got up, had all my tools on the tool gate, on the tailgate, and I was so eager to see if my knock sensor uh, was going to disrupt my drivability, hopped in my truck, pulled out of the parking lot out here, turned out in the street, and I heard a big crash. And all my tools in my toolbox went out into the road. So then I stopped, got out, picked up 184 pieces of tools, but all the tools are fine. But my box has seen better days. So, which brings me to my $1 million idea. Why does Harbor Freight not sell a separate upgraded box that houses and organizes all these tools? Because I know everybody on planet Earth that is like a shade tree mechanic uses the damn Pittsburgh box. So I would prefer that they would make it to fit all their tools, but make it like a tackle box, like a kind of a tall one that you could put in your truck. Because the I don't know, I feel like they're easier to carry and deal with. Um, exactly that, Jeremy. That's what I thought. That's what I looked. I was like, well, Harbor Freight might have something that would work. Nobody sells a organizational toolbox like those toolkits come in, and I like them because it keeps all my sockets organized and it keeps all my wrenches and all my shit, and I put it back and it's everything stays where it's supposed to go, and if I'm missing something I know it. But if I buy just like a regular toolbox and throw all my shit in there, I don't want to do that because it doesn't have a place, and then I have to buy, the little socket holders, and those slide around. Like, I want it molded in. um I want the drawers, like if they did it like drawer style, you pull out the drawers and all the drawers have the socket holders molded into them. So if I could come out with a 180 piece toolkit, so everybody that's broken their piece of junk Pittsburgh box, like my dad's got one. It's not Pittsburgh, but it's similar. His is broken. His has got leather straps on it and like cooler. He's got like a cooler latch to keep it closed. Like, it's it's a piece of shit. Um, like everybody I know that's got one is broken. The hinges always break on them, and the little locks and everything else. So I think that would be. Maybe I need to go on. Maybe I need to go on. Whatchamadiddle. Um, maybe I need to go on Shark Tank. And they're like, "What's your product? Can we see it?" I'm like, I don't have one. I have an idea though. You ever heard of Harbor Freight? They sell lots of tools to people. Their toolboxes break, and there's nothing else to put them in, which is where I come in. What is that? Um, yeah, it would be expensive to have all that shit molded, um, but I think you could. I think you could do good with it because there's not because my thing with those boxes and toolboxes is portability, and it needs to be efficient in its size, and it's not annoying to like drag around. So I looked for a while a couple nights ago, and I could not find I could not find a box anywhere. I couldn't even find one that like remotely interested me. Um, Actually, I did find one, but you had to buy. It wasn't a box by itself. It came with tools, and I think it was from Walmart. Um, but I was actually watching a video of a guy changing oil pump, and he had one in the background of his video, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks like a box I need," and uh, and I found it, and it was a gray, and I think it was a toolkit from Walmart, but it was small. Um, so I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I guess the answer is to buy like some sort of tackle box type toolbox, and then just like put some sort of adhesive on the back, on the bottom of like a socket organizer and a wrench organizer, and organize all your tools like that. But it could be done so much lighter and easier if it would just already come like that. You know what I mean? Like they can make it so much better. Just like I want a like snap-on mechanics toolbox, like the most perfectly organized one you've ever seen with all the accessories that hold everything. I just want it molded into a miniature box that will hold a 180 piece toolkit. It's not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask. But I'm with you. I hate digging through shit. That's why I like that toolbox. It's because it's like having a rolling tool chest that's neatly organized, but you don't have to have a big toolbox. It's the only way to get multiple molded drill. You have to buy a kit set. Not every tool would fit in the molds. Hot glue TikTok project, probably. I don't need every. Like I said, I don't need every tool to fit it. I just need standard stuff like 10 millimeter sockets, and then like a 15 and an 8. I'm looking for a Brian. I'm looking for a yes, a pre-molded organizational box like comes in the tool kits, but the box without the actual tools in it. A replacement box. Such box does not exist. uh, Jeremy, you ain't working unless you open your socket drawer and the tin's gone, because it is always gone. It is always gone. If you ain't losing a tin, you ain't doing something right. There's a little nibby. Um, but I'm actually, maybe someone will hear this. Maybe someone will scrub this YouTube video for tips that's in the automotive world and do that. Just like toddlers' pants. Oh, my kids do like losing their clothes. I haven't figured it out yet. And shoes. Put shoes on, put them in the car. Shoes are gone. Why'd you take off your shoes? I wanted to. Okay, cool. Cool. But what I need to do, um, what I need to do is I need to call the powers, the powers at Timu and say, Timu, will you please create this and put it, there's a need for this. It would be great for your Timu customers. We need it with a coupon for $12. Thank you. Go buy anything on there? I've seen a shoe drop out. The funny thing about toddlers and things like that is I bet it was a slow drop. I feel like with my kids, it's never like an aggressive, spontaneous something. It's very well thought out. And it's like, I know I'm about to get flamed for this, and I'm not going to try to hide it. So here. Yeah, you're watching me. I'm about to drop this shoe out the window. Don't do it. Release. While staring at you, never losing eye contact. Toolcraft. Ooh, Kyle, nice one. Molded resin toolbox. Dude, you got to think, though, how nice that would be. Like, I hate opening up the big giant box. I would much rather just have a nice, neat Plano Magnum with pull-out drawers, molded all spots for, the same shit that they sell to organize your tools in a rolling toolbox. Like all the standard stuff, so you wouldn't have to have a kit. You could just take your most common stuff and put in there, and then you could have your random shit in a bag or something. No, John, there isn't a lot of options, and I think that is I feel like I'm pretty good at that, finding little niche things that like 10 people need. But I think that would be an awesome. I don't know if it'd be a good business, but I think a lot of people would appreciate it. They just don't know it yet. I think you could take something like that and sell 1 million of them on Facebook, because it's the one thing that people don't know they need yet. That when you explained it to them, they would go, "Oh yeah, dude, that does. Yeah, I hate that. I want that. I want to organize my tools." My daughter wanted a cat, so I acted like a cat for a few days with all her stuff. Needless to say, she didn't want a cat anymore. It's a pretty good trick. You want a cat? All right. Here he is. Meow. Did you claw up all her stuff? Toolcraft. What a great name. Maybe I need to go get that domain quick before Brendan tries to sell it to me next year. Oh, Toolcraft? Yeah, I own that. How much you want? How much you want for it? Trade me a 316 workhorse, and you can have it. Need 100-piece just in 10mm. Pretty much. Hey, Steve. Happy Friday. How are you? I got to get these baits processed and head out the road. They're not out the road. I got to go paint a couple swing baits. Actually, I might not be able to paint them because I have to have some sort of they're blade baits, and I need some sort of like DTM primer. If you're not familiar with paint, DTM is direct to metal. I need some sort of metal primer, and I don't believe I have any. I thought I had some self-etching primer somewhere. Maybe I do. I think I do, but It might be army green, which is okay. I think the last time I sprayed some blade baits, I used epoxy primer. Real grabby. Yeah, there's that little booger. I knew you were in here. I saw you. I saw you yesterday when you boogered up on me, prick. You little prick. That's the nice thing about being able to clean these up. Back before I started like wet sanding baits, after they were clear coated and like polishing them, I would see something happen, like something land on a bait, and then I would just like, it would like ruin my day. Like, all that work and it's ruined. It really wasn't ruined. I just didn't know how to fix things. My good buddy Walter out in Austin, he was Mr. Fix It, and he made me believe. He used to say, "If you can break it, I can fix it." And I was like, "No, there's some shit you just can't fix." No, that dude can. He could fix anything. He could fix anything. And there's a lot of truth to that. Some things not worth fixing, but typically. Joel Olstein. Oh, what a crook. What a crook. You know who, speaking of, you know who I used to love watching? I don't want about to sneeze. Benny Hinn. That dude was hilarious. Check 15 minutes after they're still available. Yeah, you had time. I think there were. I think there was plenty of time for people to get in and get what they needed. It was a short notice. I'm sure people had things to do. Nibby. I messaged Hella after I got mine just as a reminder for him, but he never got my message. I don't think that's Molly. No, that's not Molly. That's not Molly. Extending the olive branch as a reminder to another camper, not Molly. Dude, I could not go to sleep last night. I stayed up half the night watching just dumb shit, dude. Like I got stuck in a wormhole last night watching guys. No, I got in a catch can wormhole. Like before catch cans were like trendy. There was a dude that posted a video like 10 years ago. He was like, I think my LS is getting all blown up in the top end. He said, I'm going to rig this thing up. And he had all these like random parts laying around and he made his own pretty much. But he did, it was pretty impressive what he did. But I don't know if I'm a believer or not. makes sense in theory. She popped her teeth out. Dude, everybody is doing the teeth popping video. Everybody's popping their teeth out. What is that little goober on there that won't come off? Off of there. There you go. Was that so hard? Marty needs to make a jointed rat bait. He has. Eric's got them. Epic Eric has them. Painting a house and only fell off the ladder once. Way to go, Brendan. I don't think I've ever fallen off a ladder. I fell out of a tree back here in the back. Nobody knows about it. But I don't remember what I was doing up in the tree. But it was one summer I was working. And I climbed up in the tree to do something. I think I was trimming the limbs. It was a little, later Anthony, it was a little bushy. And I fell out of that tree, landed on my back. It's a good thing I didn't get impaled because there was like stobs that I had like cut off that were sticking up. Sobering experience. You realize, oh, I can fall off of shit. Yeah, I don't here I could probably convince Mr. Burns to do a few rats. But he's not going to do many. I would say 5 would be pushing it. You might could convince Burns to do 5. And like I said, that's maybe if he's feeling real generous. But Bob still hadn't thrown his chipmunk. Probably, I don't know. I thought I saw something where he might have. Darius wants a rat, Brendan. Dude, if y'all saw what he prototyped me, you would look at it and say, what on God's green earth is that? Like, there's a lot going on. Because I don't know that it would make any sense to anybody just looking at it. It would be very confusing. But if it acts right, once I receive it, I'll show it off and see if anybody has if anybody can guess what it's supposed to do. It's weird. It's a weird one. Y'all been watching Bassmaster Live? No, Brendan's at a great age. He's at the age where he's getting all his selfishness out. Um, for me personally, that lasted from about 12 until about 33. Dude, I broke up with a chick in college because bass were going on bed. The spawn was about to go down, and I knew she'd want to like do shit on the weekends, and I was like, nah, dude, we need to split up. This is not working out for me. This is not. This is not. This is not. This is not it. You know what's funny? July rolled around. You know what? I think I was wrong. I literally don't ask. I call and tell the wife I'm going fishing. Be back later. I did that with my first wife. First wife. First wife. She said, no, 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 Bob. Man, dude, I love these things. I'm in love with this color. It's got a sexy green back. You'll see in person. You'll see in person. So here is what I don't like about matte finishes. If you get nibs in them, they're done. Can't polish them out because they're flat. So you're just kind of screwed. You're just kind of screwed. If you get a big nasty run down the side of your matte finish paint job, it just lives there. You can sand it and re-clear it, but that's it. That is it. So good thing about these, and bad thing. A little quicker to deal with because there's no polishing involved. What you see is what you get. Jeremy, that usually works, but I think there's a lot of situations out there where people hear that and they're like, okay. And I think they think in the back of their minds, he'll get over that shit. He'll change. He'll get burned out on fishing. He won't. There's no way anybody could like fishing that much. He won't fish that much. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. I like Matt. Matt's nice. Actually, proper term, flat finish would be proper. I think it's got its place. Rather have two. Darius, I'm sure you could set up a trade with somebody. Maybe we need to do that one night. Would anybody be interested in a live Tackle Camp Swap Shop. How could I do that? How could I do that? I guess you would have to pull out I guess you would have to get what you were willing. Jeremy, you got Normans. I'd be trying to trade you up for your Normans. But I guess you could take pictures and then submit your pictures, and then we could like go through the pictures and you could look at what everybody had, and then if you saw something you liked in somebody's box, you could offer them a trade live. Like, you know, we'd say Darius is up, and Darius is like, all right, I've got this box of middle ends that are worthless. I hate middle ends. They don't catch bass. I've got those. AJ. AJ, did they send you a message? Ryan from Whatnot? You have baby wedges out the wazoo? I did respond to him. I thought it was interesting. I would listen to what he I would listen to his pitch to see what he's all about. What do y'all know about Whatnot? Does anybody know anything about Whatnot? Yeah, this would be a marathon. I would need to do this on like a Saturday. If anyone campers missing on the Hellcat, I'm willing to part with the shad. There you go, John. There you go, Darius. John, you want two shads? I mean, you want two crawls? You can have Darius's crawl, and he can have your shad. See? You can't get it, Brendan. It's flat finish. It felt to me more like people wanting deals on stuff. Uh, 8 baby wedges. You probably have more than me. How's that even possible? I guess I'm not seeing them on eBay anymore because Brendan's buying them as soon as they pop up. So screwed myself on that one. Builder dude. John, Darius, think about it. John gets double crawls. Darius gets double shads. John, what's up? I'm good. Darius will take the deal. Okay. John, you have to confirm. And I have to remember. It's a lot for me to remember sometime. Uh, obviously, Brendan, I don't get any I don't get any deals on baby wedges anymore. The baits that nobody would bid on are all vanishing before my eyes. Oh yeah, they were saying they wanted a rat Burns, and I said they would be lucky to get. They might push it and get 5 out of you. Uh, Darius has confirmed he is good with the double shad trade. John, let us know. The ball is in your court. We're doing deals over here. I don't need whatnot. Tackle knot. What about a mouse? What kind of mouse? Burns went solid. Um, small rat. Conventional rat. Conventional gear rat. You can build 20 of them? That's a lot. I don't know if 20 people want them. 20 is a lot. Uh, Burns, I'm honestly scared of what 20 rats is going to cost me. That's my fear of rats. Old small vintage spinner baits from Stanley with no E. Nice move. Do a pre-order camper only deal. Could do that. A pre-order would be fine for the campers because then you wouldn't have a bunch of dipshits on there. John says no on the double deal. Looking to sell. All right, so let me erase my mind of that. So then, I don't know. One bait, one time, one and done. A lot of these are one and done. Some not so much. This one's good enough. It doesn't need to be done forever. Last pre-order you did, they had half pre-orders crying. I don't even. Have I ever done a pre-order? Native Gill Rat. Buy a rat, get a native gill. Oh, the June bug. God, that was a cluster. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. Too many conventional rats. You don't need you can buy a conventional rat anywhere. Don't become Andrew Hinkle. You'd have to be a dirtbag to be Andrew Hinkle, though, Brendan. There's plenty of people that, no, I wouldn't say plenty. There's a few people that do pre-orders that do straight up business. Um, Mickey. Anybody else? Campers. I do not build a big rat bait. No. No, burns it into the big rats. Mickey does it right. He's about the only one I know of. Any chance for a built-in tail on the back of those rats? John, if I had to bet, I would bet Burns has no clue what megabass you're talking about, because I don't have a clue what you're talking about. You mean like countersunk screw inside the body, and then you just screw the tail inside the body? BGC, yeah. Kevin does. Kevin does things right. Let's look this damn megabass shit up. Rat X images. Oh, where it's like a fixed piece of material. Burns could build that, without a doubt. Double hook on the front or in the center is cool. But then, you know what? I don't want to have to listen to fucking, oh, Burns just built a Megabass Red X. So, because it wouldn't matter, like, you could build an E1 all day and nobody gives a shit. But as soon as you do something that's like from Japan, then you have to listen to the hee-hawing. It's a strip of leather. There you go. So, I guess eat a dick, Megabass aficionados. Burns has been there and done that. KOs are the only be a one-way street in this game. KOs can only be. Buka is on the striper, but not getting big boys like this around me. Jeremy, in all Buka's videos I've seen him reeling in fish and then holding fish in still photography, but the videos always end like beside the boat. Choose my thought, but not my words. Are those hard to get? What's the shortcomings of a Rat X? He's using prototypes and it doesn't want anyone to see them. I mean, I thought he just said it's like a 9-inch trick shad. Isn't that what he said? Isn't that what I read? Yeah, looks like they got a shoestring on the back of this thing. Uh, 30 to 60 pound striper. That's pretty monstrous, Jeremy. Do they eat rats? Do they eat your rat? Batra X. That's an interesting looking bait. It's like a hula popper. Not a hula popper, whatever that thing is. He's already released a 9-inch trick shad. And what is it? I mean, I'm sure it's some sort of like 8.5-inch trick shad or something. I mean, it's not like you see the bait and you're like, holy shit, the industry is about to shut down and change. Like, you know what I mean? Working on something different. They always say that. They always say that. Jitterbug frog. Yeah, that's an interesting looking bait. It's got a lot going on. What a 9-inch, aka the 8-inch. Well, I have a 7 and 37/16 coming out. This is pretty. The Respect series crawler. This is a this is a this is a beautiful little rat. The Rat X Junior. It is cute. A pawpaw frog. Let's look that up. Pawpaw frog. Oh, gross. I'll speak for Burns. Absolutely not. Great question, JP. Has anyone actually fished a Rat X? Eludes packaging is better than the baits. Changed my mind. I have not very good. Okay, so we have a Jeremy. Um, it's a little one-piece rat-looking mouse thing with a piece of shoestring leather stuff as a tail. There you go. That's the Rat X from Megabass. Um, they do look cool. Bob, what was your issue with the Rat X? Did it blow out? It's got a rotating hook hanger. I'm not a fan of that at all. A pawpaw frog is a frog body with two separate free floating legs that are both hard. I have one of the ones from Japan that came out like 10 years ago. I'm not sure if the new ones are heavier, maybe blew out too easy. I can see that. They looked light for whatever reason. Just looking at the picture, they just looked light. Um, a triple double? No, Brendan. I don't. I have a slammer. That's about where it ends for me. Uh, that's about where it ends for me. What the heck are you doing with the fingers? I don't know. Jeremy, how can you say slammers suck, dude? That's the damn that's everybody's gateway drug into swim baiting, walking wake baits or whatever. Uh, that sounds stupid. It would be a lot to deal with. Not only would it be a lot for you to build, it would be a nightmare to paint because you would have to create some sort of. You would almost have to get like a clothes hanger and like rubber bands and like pull the legs separate and like you'd have to build a frame or like build a frame and then hang the top of the bait from the frame and then like pull the legs down separate so they didn't touch and then you would have to just individually frame each bait. um uh, I will say, Jeremy, that my slammer was not great. It ran wonky. It ran to one side, and I'm pretty sure it's untunable. I can never get it to do right. I don't know if the bill's in crooked. I don't know if something's not jiving on my bait. I don't know if it's got like a hard spot in the wood or what what it is, but my slammer has never swam good. But I will say I love the dark rainbow trout pattern that what's the name, Mike Shaw, that he did. That's probably one of my like all-time favorite paint jobs on a bait because he literally took the most dumbass looking bait in my slammer, which is a broomstick, with stupid looking eyes and stupid looking everything, stupid looking tail, and he put that purple rainbow trout looking paint job on it, and he made that bait sexy. And it's so ugly, but he managed to do it. Just that paint job. That's the only slammer in my opinion that's like got a little bit of sex appeal. Is that dark trout? Um, I forget what he calls it. Choose a color. I want. What's it called? Light trout, dark trout. What a shitty site. Thought of this Garrett's custom dude. All his patterns are the same, just different purples. What's up, Rich? Long time no talk. Um, colors. Frog. Not purple nitro. Not light trout. Why did he have dark trout on there? Huh. Maybe that's not a color anymore. Oh, I don't know where that color is because it's not his dark trout and it's not his light trout. I don't know what it's called. Huh. Oh well. Thoughts on this Garrett's Customs dude? All patterns look the same, just different purples. Um, yeah, I see him a lot on my Explore page. And Instagram seems to, there's like a sweet spot with Instagram where you're like, uh, you're in like the 3,000 or 1,000. You're in between 1,000 and 10,000 subs, or I would say 1,000 and like 7,000, where they really like put your shit out hard. Um, and it was the same for me. Like for whatever reason, that's like the sweet spot for getting reach. Uh, but I see a lot of his stuff on my explore page, and it looks like he paints cleanly. I mean, they're nice looking paint jobs. It's not groundbreaking anything, but he does have a nice clean aesthetic, and he takes nice pictures. So yeah, he's all over the place. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Uh, Jeremy, I talked about it a couple weeks ago, and then I never heard anything else about it. I didn't watch that live stream. Um, the guy was supposed to be talking about it. I missed that, so I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. It is a mystery. Isn't that KJ Queen dude's dad involved with it? That dude must have money running out his ass, bro. Must have money running out his ass. Yeah, he's the one putting it together. Wonder what wonder what he does. Because I don't. Uh, if I'm a betting man, Queen's custom tackle chatterbait blades is not funding Master Cup fishing. The sale of chatterbait attachment blades. Is KJ still using a van? I don't know. That sounds like a front to me. That sounds like a front. We'll see. Pros in the off season. From what I've seen, there's like an owner, and the owner gets to pick their teams. March, Hayden, without a doubt. It's colder. The meat's firmer. When it's hot as shit like this, they're all mushy, dude. You don't want to eat up. You don't want to eat a 8 in August. Put him in the freezer. Let him firm up, and eat him then. Cold water certainly better. And if you put him in the freezer and let him firm up, you might get a wild hair and want to take him to the taxidermist and stuff his ass. You might say, you know what? I ain't that hungry. But that sure is a fine bass in my freezer. That sure is a fine bass. 100% they were selling at Classic in Fort Worth. What's 100%, Chris? That they're funding master fishing from chatterbait blade sales, or that he's still driving the van. Brendan, I hadn't stuffed them yet. I think they're too old to stuff, dude. What's the shelf life on stuffing? Thoughts on the name Master Cup? Oh, I don't even know where to begin. Like, it's so it's so stupid and elementary and just like pea brained is a great. It's probably the best way I could describe it. It's fucking pea brained. It's like, well, they got the masters in golf, and we want to be better uh, than everybody else. So what's another name for that? Master. Okay, we want to be master of fishing, and then cup sounds regal and elegant, and you know, like it has value. So we'll just throw two words together that have nothing to do with fishing. So when people hear Master Cup, they'll think, "Oh, what a great bass fishing tournament I should watch." No, they're not going to think that. They're going to say, "What is Master Cup?" They'll probably think it's the fucking ping pong game that you play with booze, whatever that's called. And you'd probably be more likely to see that on ESPN. Beer pong. Yeah. If they really wanted to make money, competitive beer pong. Call it Master Cup. Wouldn't that be fun? Couldn't have two chicks as announcers that look like they're in college. Masters Cup. I mean, I don't know. Like I'll tell you what the name implies. The name implies that I'm going to be a shit stain on bass fishing and I'll be gone in 2 years. That's what it sounds like. Because coming up through bass fishing through the 80s and 90s, you hear the brand names of like the companies and like all the little stupid ass bait companies and little gimmick companies and all, and you hear them and you're like, that doesn't have any brand power. Like it's just a stupid ass name and like somebody bored. Master Cup fishing. Like honestly, think about it. In 10 years, are we still going? Like, can you imagine yourself saying Master Cup fishing, or asking your buddies in 10 years, "Hey, did you watch Master Cup fishing yesterday?" No, because it's not going to exist. Bassmaster. That's good. Hell, you knew you were going to do that. You know how to press my buttons. Hell is the damn puppet master. He just wanted to get me fired up. Which was good. I was getting stale here. I needed a good rant. Message from Master Cup. Hey, we watched your YouTube video from yesterday. We like the way you talk. We'd like to do you. We'd like to pay you $100,000 to do commentary for our on the water segments. Don't watch today's episode. Don't watch today's episode. Then you got to pay the spinnerbait guy, Brian. You got to go buy his name out, or you got to make him the sponsor. After watching the elites today and being the end of the season, they need more events. They do need more events, Chris. I 100% agree. I don't know why they don't have more. I mean, they're not teachers. They don't need a half a year break. You know what I mean? Like it's August, September, October, November, December. Like they could at least fish 2 more months, and they could jam 3 events in there. Um, Jim listened. I don't know. The thing about it is, I don't hate the concept from what I've heard, but I think the concept is cool with team fishing, and that's relatable, and the whole thing about it is good. But the branding is bad, real bad. So, I mean, if you look at their like all their logo design and all that kind of stuff, let's see. Master Cup Fishing. This is the most Fiverr-ish logo I have ever seen in my life. That cost $5 on Fiverr. That cost nothing. And if they paid more than that, they got ripped off. Um, so it's not sexy. Bass's badge is sexy. It makes you want to be a part of it. It makes you feel like you're when you like are into bass, you're like part of something. Master Cup Fishing is very stale. It's very it doesn't have life. It doesn't look like it came from a place of uh, interest. You know what I mean? It just looks generic. It looks like it looks like if Acme fishing tournaments was a thing, it would be Master Cup fishing. No matter how good the concept of the actual trail is, everything else misses. Um, it's like the logo on a '90s throwaway handheld video game, pretty much. Yeah, if those old '90s cast and reel lunker games were a bass fishing trail, it would be Master Cup. Whoever runs Bass website is missing the boat. It's the way of the modern world and it's Bush League. Yes, it always has been. My biggest beef, which I feel like Bass's website was better 10, 12 years ago. I think it constantly gets worse. Um, they can't find the sweet spot. Uh, for how to make their website jive. Um, I've talked about it before. The thing with the weigh-in and the live weigh-in being two separate pages, they should be the same. Like you should be able to scroll while you're watching the live weigh-in and see who's in what place and not have to go back and forth or open up two tabs. But on your phone, you can't do that. So uh, I don't know. I think they might have fixed that. Um, no, you didn't get. You won the Masters. You a big golfer? No, Masters Cup, bro. Bass fishing team tournament trail. You haven't heard of it? Really? Oh, no. Surprising. I don't know. Seems Bush League. Steve, there hardly are none, dude. Like it's very hard to find anything. And I obviously I love like old Bassmaster stuff. And if I'm ever trying to find somebody or a tournament that I'm thinking about or talking about, like or an article, like all that shit's gone, dude. They pulled it. There's hardly anything. And the other shitty thing was that like they used to have tons of Bassmaster video like tournaments on their website. I guess those are all gone. But the thing was they had years and years and years of tournaments on their site, but they were all in like 180p. It was like you were watching them recorded off of a damn Zach Morris phone. So I don't know. A lot of the old videos are there, but the video formats aren't compatible. Sounds about right. The old tournament videos are in the members only section. Hmm. I'm not a member. I'm a Lynn Dollar member. Well, if you watched them on Bass's website, Jeremy, you'd have to watch back-to-back Lowrance videos, back-to-back Lowrance ads, and then they'd show you 3 seconds of bass fishing and then show you a Lowrance ad. And then you'd see somebody go, "Oh, big one," and set the hook, and then you see a Lowrance ad. Ronnie Moore is in charge of him because I want another reason to dislike him. You don't need any more, Steve. You've got plenty. He gives you one every time he opens his mouth. Why don't immediately post weigh-in videos after the completion of the day? Good question. I want to know why they can't make money televising the opens. As a bass fishing fan, I would watch the opens the same way I would watch a Bassmaster tournament. The opens are almost more interesting. The opens are almost more interesting. The opens are probably better. And the thing about the opens is from a fishing fan standpoint, is a lot of us probably know somebody to a certain extent that's fishing the opens. You know what I mean? Like you've got some tie to somebody in the opens. Most of us don't have ties to some professional angler, but most of us know maybe somebody that's either local or regional that we like feel a little more of a connection to than some random pro. Um, but I did see that, Jeremy, where they're putting the last one on. But I've honestly always been more interested in the opens than uh, the other thing about the opens that's really interesting as far as television is that um, you typically there's two different tournaments going on. There are just the guys in the opens that are really good from all across the country. Um, but then you've also got the locals that either have the money or get floated the money to fish all the opens in hopes of winning that one. And there's plenty of them. Uh, so I'd like to see more live opens because it's not like those guys can't talk because half the Elite Series can't talk either, so it doesn't matter. Like it's not selling the anglers. I'm sure there's some really personable guys out there on the. They're not all just watching forward-facing sonar. Yeah, that's the other thing about the opens is their schedule is possibly a little more interesting, especially the last one, Florida in October. Dude, that thing's gonna be. I mean, that's gonna be a badass tournament. Um, watch 150 college kids amass incredible debt. Maybe, maybe. I don't think they're going to have to amass too much debt, Steve. If you've seen what I've seen, there's a pot of gold somewhere. Milliken was bitching about that on Straycast. Locals competing and elites. I mean, what does it matter? How do you bitch about that? You can't. Like if I'm going to fish the elites, say I've gotten to the point in my fishing career where it's like, you know what? I'm ready. It's time. I'm ready to stomp ass. I don't give a rat's ass who fishes the opens because I'm going to stomp their ass. And you know what? After I get done stomping their ass, I'm going to go to the elites and I'm going to stomp their ass because that's how you have to think. And if you're good enough, you will. But if you're like, oh, yeah, these guys are just crowding up the place, you know what I mean? They're getting in the way. Just just beat them. You know what I mean? Just their money's green like everybody else's. It spends all the same. But if you're going to be I mean, if you're trying to get to the elites, you obviously think you're better than the majority of everybody else. So somebody wants to step down from the elites, fish are open. Okay, I'll beat your ass on the opens. And then when I get done beating your ass down there, I'll come beat your ass on the elites. No big deal. I feel like there hasn't been a guy since KVD that's had that attitude. You're probably right, Bob. You're probably right. Because Wheeler is that good, but he doesn't. I don't know what. I don't like as great of a competitor as Wheeler is. He doesn't have to me that like fiery uh like just wants to destroy you attitude. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Van Dam, like he was just confident. I would never say Van Dam was cocky or arrogant, but you knew he was fucking good, right? But he's not gonna tell you that like he didn't have to. I think that's the difference is he didn't have to because he just beat your ass. I think that's the difference by guys that guys that are like cocky. They're cocky because they're really not as good as they think they are. Gator, you've been a regular Aristotle with these. Silence is golden. Yesterday, you were less is more was your quote. Your regular old philosophizer. But yeah, I feel like I don't know anybody that has that like that kind of attitude. You know what I mean? Like 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 you're either going to come off like a prick or you're just going to be like, oh, whatever. Um, Tim Horton has Wheeler over on KVD. What does that mean? If Marty doesn't make the banks, camper won't. Penalty, you send Marty to the bass events for 4 days. Burns, if you don't listen to the campers, you're going to have to watch a 4 day Bassmaster live. The whole deal at Cayuga kind of put a bad look on MLF. And then the whole slight touch, no penalty stuff. Then Boy going on a day off and not going DQ made them not look good. Yeah, they have a way of making themselves not look good. I will say, I mean not Van Dam. I think it was Zaldane talking to Zona, which is a really good interview. Zaldane did good. Uh, his Hackney one I didn't like as much. It felt like it was struggling to gain traction, but the Zona one flowed. Um, but he asked Zona. He said Wheeler has won a lot, but why aren't Wheeler's wins as sexy as Van Dam's? And it's true. Like Wheeler's won a ton, but when he wins, it's not. It doesn't have the same sex appeal as when Van Damme was crushing people. The other difference that I think made Van Damme so awesome was that like everybody talked about him. Like his competitors were always reminding him that he was going to beat their ass. You know what I mean? Like you always heard in interviews, stuff people drop comments about Van Damme. So he didn't even have to. Like he was already, as they say, living rent free in all of their minds. I'd rather watch. You'd rather watch ISIS live? I'd rather watch Taliban live. Zona said Wheeler was pissed at him years ago because they got on TV, and Zona said, "You won so much. Why does nobody like you?" I do remember that, John. It's a good point. It's a good point. Like, I don't know. It's the same with like Jordan. Like Jordan was just so iconic. You could like it was all everything he did was more powerful. And it's the same thing with Van Damme. Like Van Damme is just so iconic in how he like did things that he I don't know. He made himself a larger than life, and there was a lot of mystery to Van Damme, which I think made it even more bigger. It made his wins stronger, and it made everything around his mystique seem superhuman. Because it's like, what is this guy really doing? And then you see him, and he's just out there cranking like a 6XD. What's going on with this guy? He's got the mystery is what I think made the appeal of Van Damme so intriguing. It's like, wait a minute, is this guy beating everybody's ass on these same shitty crankbaits that I've got? Turns out, yes. Well, what's he doing? KVD Last Dance? That would be depressing. That would be depressing. It'd be awesome though. But I mean, it just goes to show that a win is not necessarily a win. Like you can have all the wins in the world, but like even if Wheeler like doubles Van Damme's accolades, he still won't have the iconic like powerful draw that Van Damme does. I don't think. I don't think. So what do I know? I'm just a guy putting split rings on beautiful balsa wood. lime green things. My father-in-law fishes with Stetson's brother a lot. Stetson Blaylock's brother? Son-in-law. I don't know about y'all, but I have a really hard time conceptualizing when people say, like, my buddy Keith said, my stepdad's cousin's son or something yesterday. And I was like, like, in order for me to process that, I would almost need to draw a family tree. Yeah, that's the thing about Bob. The thing about forward facing and Van Dam is like what everybody's doing with forward facing sonar is the same way Van Dam ledge fished without it. You cycle through baits till you get a fish to bite. And Van Dam was the best at that. And he was like really like I feel like he was the one that like did it better than everybody. And but he was doing it without looking at them. And now you would think the way he fishes that it would just he would be twice as efficient, but maybe not. Uh, Hurts Brendan's brain too. That's like the only thing that like I can't conceptualize in my mind is when people start telling me cousins, brothers, uncles, stepsisters, moms, dog. Uh, this was a beautiful, beautiful batch of falsifates. I would like to honestly hoard these for myself. Not sure if you like meatloaf, but using whales in air fryer with spicy Whataburger ketchup is a game changer. What is whales? Dude eating whales? Whales? Eating beluga whale, bro? I don't know how to use coordinating, but probably takes a lot of practice to get with the concepts. Also, Bob, you got to think when forward facing sonar was conceptualized with Garmin, you can bet that Van Dam probably had it before anybody. Like, dude, best bass fisherman in the world. It's not like it was something that popped out on him and he was like, "Oh, let me learn this." That dude knows. He knows the game. The other difference is KVD wants to kick your ass in everything, not just fishing. Yeah, I don't know. I love that. Like, but it's not. I don't know. He's just got Van Dam's got a great demeanor as far as his competitiveness. Like, he's not like a douche. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of assholes out there with the hyper competitive. I want to beat you in everything mentality, but most of them are typically douche dicks. Um, but Van Dam was just like that, kind of quiet. Just Crusher. All right, dudes. I'm getting off of here too. I got zaps to eat. I need a snack. Need a snack. Brought to you by Zaps. I had a patient that ran a little derby on Lake Hamilton and would talk about those old pros. We're talking about Scott Rook. I think Wheeler is an expert with sonar, yes. Like, top 3, top 5 in the world. From what I understand of Jacob Wheeler and forward facing sonar. I heard Jordan talk about how good Wheeler was with it. All right, dudes. I'm gonna get off here. Y'all have a good weekend. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for your Hellcats. They're coming on the way. I'll get them headed down the road. Make sure they look all nice and neat. Y'all be good. Good talking to you. Take it easy.